Okay, we're recording.
This is Monday, March 8th, 2021, meeting of the Berlin Board of Assessors. As a preliminary matter, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. This is Kevin Pond, Chair of the Board of Assessors. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to me calling the meeting to order. Bev Wheeler?
Here.
Okay. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Molly Reed, Assessing Director?
Here.
Okay. Do we have any anticipated speakers on the agenda?
No.
Okay. With the quorum of the board present, I call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. on Monday, March 8th, 2021.
Okie dokie. So I'll read the minutes from last week.
Yeah.
We were all here. We had no guests and therefore we had no public comment. You accepted the minutes from February 8th, both regular session and executive session. The correspondence was DLS A&F memo on federal funds and a memo for municipal guidance program, all for the COVID monies. An IGR on land of low value and a city and town A&F article that basically mimicked what how all the funding's going for COVID. The town administrator had sent out an all employee virtual meeting for March 4th, updated everyone on unemployment fraud and COVID-19 phase 2 vaccines. And then I informed you of some stuff that I had been doing for meetings and software demos. I had attended some educational seminars. We sent out, no, I was telling you I was going to send out the I&E forms, and we had an overall discussion on C&I and market for the town. We discussed meetings with the Board of Selectmen. If we wanted to do monthly reports, the first one would be April 26th. You came in and signed a couple of new liens for name changes, accounts payable, and payroll. And we, as for old business, we had a discussion about replacing the third board member and how you can't get paid till the third board member comes on board, and that I had set up the quarterly paying system, but if there's no, you can just get paid once a year whenever you wanted. I just set it up because I like to have, I don't like nilly-willy, I like to have a plan. So there was no new business and we adjourned at 6:49.
Okay. Want to make a motion
I make a motion
to
to pass
accept
the
them?
minutes,
Kevin,
to accept them.
Okay.
Ooh,
You in favor of that?
I am, yes.
And I am also.
okay.
Okay.
So correspondence for this week is Powder House News. Did you guys all get it yourselves?
I didn't read it yet.
Okay.
If there's any good stuff,
I didn't actually read it yet either. We usually don't get it, so I don't know if it's just a repeat of what's usually happening or not. The city and towns newsletter was on the state, the average assessments for the state, average single family residential property tax bills. So the state average, I should have highlighted this. The state average tax bill is $6,373, which is an increase of 3.2% from FY20. The average single-family home for the state is $468,034, which is an average increase of 3.3%. And then it breaks it down some more. I can leave this for you guys to look at. There's all kinds of tables and charts and everything. And they talked about maybe changing this instead of being the average to the median, but no decisions had been made. They just threw it out there for people to think about. And then there was some, ask DLS community some questions on the Preservation Act Part 9 and public health excellent grant programs for shared services from the Mass Department of Public Health. And that was that. I just thought you'd be interested in the average statewide values. And we also got an advisory letter from information technology from the state that there had been some issues with Microsoft Exchange, and they sent out a cybersecurity advisory, and I don't know what it says because I'm not a techie person, but hopefully someone in town is looking at that. We got the news at Vision newsletter. They're announcing their I hate it when my tongue gets stuck. National Users Group teleconference, which is in April, Wednesday and Thursday, April 28th and 29th, which is always a good thing to attend. They also said that they are proud to announce we have secured a strategic investment from Rubicon Technology Partners, a leading software investment firm. So I guess they aren't going to go. I guess we'll still be able to use Vision. And they're starting to introduce their support staff with pictures and everything. You talk to so many of them, you don't know who they are or what they look like. So that's that. And I had an email from the town administrator that we need to articulate the pain and specific solutions for new software that we had requested, and that was from FinCom. So I was working on that, and I basically just have like pros and cons. That for this year, I just think that they overcharged us for those 504 valuations on NetBook because we were in a reval year. We had to do it this year. Excuse me. And after the fact, I found out that most other vendors only charged $2,000 to $2,500, and they charged us $3,000 each. I found it very difficult to get information from them this year. I don't know if that was because of the COVID or what. I didn't get clear and precise. I didn't get the answers clearly when I was asking questions on the new full solar farm being put on. And I just thought overall it was very frustrating to work with them. So that's why I went and asked for a new system.
Who was this, Molly? Who are we having the problem with?
Patriot Property, Personal Property.
Okay, I don't see their name here. Okay, so I'm thinking it's Vision. So,
Sorry, we had requested about 14.5 to get new software in our budget. And the request came back that we explain why we need that.
Right, and where's that, who are we gonna sign up with on that?
RRC, which is,
Okay, so we're not gonna go with the person we're having an issue with then, a Patriot.
no, but they wanted us to articulate why we think we need a new software package.
Right,
So
but,
I need to put something together to send to FinCom.
which is fine, but I'm just wondering why we don't have a good answer when we call Patriot of why somebody else gets charged 2,000 and we get charged 3,000.
And I tried to negotiate that down and they were firm on it. So, and I felt like it was, so what I said was reval year, unfunded mandates for 504 valuations. We got charged $9,000 for 3 accounts. After all was said and done, I found out that other vendors were only charging between 2,000 and 2,500. These were my things I was writing, my thoughts I was putting down to articulate in a memo.
Right, so did that get sent to Patriot? Or did you call Patriot about that issue? Or is this to
Before-
the FinCom?
I'm going to send this memo to FinCom with the reasons why we looked into getting a new software package.
And we would then not be dealing with Patriot totally?
If FinCom allows us to get the new software,
We would not. We would go with somebody new then.
yes.
Okay. All right.
So, and then for anticipated improvements, the RRC is in the cloud. So if a COVID ever happened again, I'd be able to do it anywhere, get into it anywhere. It's a cloud-based system. It seems much easier to use from the screenshots that I've seen. The homeowner also has access to view the information. They're only planning on charging us $2,500 for the 504s. And RRC is just a personal property company. They've got a single focus, not splitting time between real and personal property. And I believe that there's more appraisal background for solar 504s and other utilities. So does that sound like a
I'm
a
just,
good starting point of trying to tell someone why we need new software?
I think so. What is included in our 504s?
The gas company, New England Power,
Is it the electric?
electric and gas.
And wasn't there a couple more?
Nope, there's 3. I can't think of the names of them because you asked me.
I know. So we have gas, we have electric.
I think we have 2 electrics and 1 gas. They're basically all the same people, but just different divisions.
Right. So with that, do they handle the whole thing? RRC, if we hire them, all we're gonna do is ask them, give us what the gas piping in Berlin's worth, give us what the electrical's worth, and that's that? Is that how that's gonna work?
Not exactly. What we send out the form of lists, and
Yeah.
they fill it out now properly with the new DOR form of lists for gas and electric. And then we give that information to RRC so that they can value it. So we do,
But who's checking? How about-
RRC. Because
So
I
they're
know
gonna
that,
check to say that, if the gas company tells us they have, 500 feet of gas pipe in Berlin that's worth $150. RRC is gonna check that and make sure
Well-
that sentence is not correct and,
it's not that simple. What they're going to do is, now they have to do a blended value. Do you remember they used to just, the utility companies just used to send us a letter for net book value, and
right,
then they would send us a growth value. The state's not accepting that anymore. So they have to fill out, it's a very long and involved thing on all their assets. So it's a blended value based on net book and market.
okay. So RRC included in their price is gonna check this and make sure someone's watching the fox at the hen house and,
Yeah, and Patriots does that also, just at a higher rate.
yeah, but if you think it's in the best interest of the town to switch,
Well,
um,
I think that, I think that the current version that we have of Patriot is written in Access, and it's not user friendly. I wanted to run some reports last year and I couldn't figure it out. So I called up to ask how to run a report, and nobody seemed to be able to tell me how I could feel like, if I only wanted the 504s in an inventory, they couldn't tell me how to run that report. If they just said use the canned report. So that was a little frustrating. I was just very disappointed with them last year. So that's what made me go out and look. And I've worked with RRC before, and they just come in and they take away the forms of lists. They do it all and they send it back to you. And it just seems less
burdensome,
I-
less burdensome on
less
us.
burdensome. And I kept
for-
thinking, I kept having to check up on Patriot. It was me, getting a hold of them saying, where are you in the process, opposed to them reporting to me. So,
So
Oh, no, these are my new ones. I just got on discount.
our,
so,
oops.
no,
So
well,
our,
those were just do you think those are good enough points to explain?
I think if you listed them out, this is a little abbreviated here, but if you list them out as we've talked about it, does RRC cover everything that Patriot does for us?
Yes, and then some.
Okay, as long as we're being covered and the town's not gonna be left holding our hat, so to speak. And did you get a current price for Patriot? Even
Yes.
though we're leaning not going with them, and you got a price for RRC?
Yes.
Okay,
And I did ask Patriot if they had a updated version in there. So we have like version 4, and they're up to version 5, and have never, since I've been there, never offered to update or say that there was an update. I just think there's a lot of miscommunication. But so they did give me a quote on it. It's a little bit, it's comparable to the quote that RRC gave us, but it's not in the cloud, and it doesn't have a customer portal that a customer could go on and look at it. We'll be
Right.
able to post this to our website, or a link to our website, so people can get in it like they can with Vision.
well, okay, with that being said, I agree that I don't think we should be fighting with Patriot to get answers. So if RRC is gonna talk to us, give us our stuff without much interference, I think that's good. However, my next question is, can tell me I'm wrong, is how much do we want the public to access all this information?
Well, no, it would be it would be looking at their property record card like Vision. They're not gonna access all our
Okay.
information. They're just gonna be able to access their customer their own property record cards.
Or somebody else's property
Or,
record
yeah,
card. Yeah,
exactly.
okay, if they're just record cards, which is public information, fine, it just, I
Yes.
don't know if there are different layers of people getting in there, I'm not the best fan of that business, so.
No, it would be just like, I'm assuming it would be the same as Vision, a customer logging on to Vision. They can only get to certain, their property record cards and other people's property record cards, which is all personal, public information.
Right.
And right now, we do or do not have that.
No, we only basically have a paper notebook of all the accounts for people to look up.
So right now, I cannot get online and look up someone's property record card.
For personal property, correct.
Oh, no, but for their house,
You can look up their house, just
right now.
right
So if
now.
we get off this meeting, I can look up any house in Berlin and look at their property record card.
Right, but if we get RRC, you'd be able to look up anybody's personal property account. So you'd be able to look up what the hotel has for personal property.
Right, and do we want to do that?
Well, yes,
We
well,
do.
it would, yeah, it would be good for the person who is being inventoried to be able
It
to
would-
look it up.
I disagree with that, but it's okay. 'Cause if I'm running a business, I'm not really sure I want, everyone looking at my personal property, my backhoe, my front end loader, my,
Well, they can just go drive by and look at it,
yep,
so.
they could, but if this is America and a lot of things are information out there, so whatever.
But Kev, one good point is on that, if somebody has equipment and they're hiding it, so to say,
Yeah,
and we don't see it, they're not being taxed on it,
yeah.
because many
Yeah.
people could,
Oh, it happens, believe me. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's wherever it's located on January 1st, is that? how
Correct.
Okay. Anyway,
Unless it has a plate of its own and it can go wherever it wants to because it's being taxed on the excise side. But a lot of
Alright.
people don't register heavy equipment because it's not on the road. It's usually on a trailer moving from site to site.
right, so I take my large excavator and I move it to Harvard to dig a cellar hole in December. Come January 20th, it's still not back in Berlin. Are we
Then it gets-
taxing that?
It gets taxed in Harvard.
It
Supposedly.
does. Interesting. I'd rather wait till the 20th when it comes home.
As
I
you
was
can,
gonna say the same thing, because how can we know that Harvard's taxing them?
Probably not, probably not.
It's hard.
Yeah,
There's,
whatever.
so there's that. Just wanted to make sure I was going in the right direction
Yeah.
to do that.
Are they gonna request a meeting? The FinCom committee, are they gonna request a meeting or are they just gonna talk to you about it? Or how's that gonna work?
Well, you already had your budget meeting with them way back in December.
Right, but I meant for you to explain this to them, or have you
Well-
done that already?
No, I haven't. That's what I was trying to do. I was,
Right. So how is that gonna take place?
I'll send them an email, and I've also been attending the FinCom meetings because I'm on the
Yep,
administrative finance team, so. Or the last one, and I'll probably be going to Wednesdays because they're talking through the budget, so. That's
So,
what it is.
are
Just
they
a
just
couple of
gonna
more
ask,
hours to my day.
are they just gonna ask you right then and there what you think, or are you gonna set up a meeting, so to speak?
I'm going to say, I was asked to do a report or a letter or a memo. So they're
Okay.
going to do it through that process.
Okay, all right, yeah,
So, and you guys had asked last week about the taxes for the mall. So I sent that
Right.
to you.
yeah. Um, so if Sears pays one amount and the mall pays an amount, I'm assuming that's for all like the other property in Berlin?
That's for the, yeah, for the
Yeah.
all the little stores inside the mall and for the
Yeah.
food court.
Yeah,
And
okay,
then in Sears, J.C. Penney's and Macy's pay their own building value.
yeah, okay. Now, this is what we get out of it. This isn't split with Marlboro. This is what we get right here that you
Yep.
printed out for us.
This is just Berlin side of it.
Okay. All right.
And then
Bev, did you see those on the printout?
Yes.
Okay, just
I
making
just-
sure.
I just looked at them again.
Yeah, so did I. I'm like, whoa, okay. All right,
Glad you don't have to pay that.
I
Yes.
guess. I kind of stunned there. So now,
So I guess I should just, so between the mall and the three stores, they pay $1,653,774.98 in real estate taxes. Just so the seeing public or can have a figure.
okay, so all those 4 stores and the other stores in the mall. Yes, I see that printing in bold on the,
Yes.
on the right. Okay,
That's a total. So, I believe you had called originally just about Sears because everybody was saying it was going out of business.
right.
And their tax liability is $215,151.
That's correct. And so I would now, which I didn't realize, assume that some of these other, that the mall value of 1,400,791 is probably going to be less or not. I don't know. So
Well,
with us,
we don't know that yet because we haven't gotten our I&Es back yet.
right,
We have to analyze that for the upcoming fiscal 22.
right. So my theory of thinking we're in trouble just because of Sears was somewhat incorrect. I failed to think about the other stores at the mall. So now we're dealing with not 2 crises, but at least 1.5, so to speak, or 1.25.
Well, yeah,
But I don't know that. So,
well, you got the hotel. The things that were mostly shut down when COVID struck were restaurants, the hotel, the malls. The only things that were allowed to be open were grocery stores and the hardware store and things like that. So considering that that's most of our inventory in Berlin, like the grocery store up at Highland is in Hudson and so isn't the hardware store. So I'm anticipating that we're going to get lower income than we had the year before. So
yeah,
I would just from reading information and stuff that we're going to take a hit on the commercial side.
well, I mean, you can see it coming.
Yeah,
right? You drive by the motel and all that has ceased, so to speak, but yeah. So I was just more concerned about Sears because everybody knows about that, I would say. But the whole of it is more extensive than I guess I kind of was thinking, so to speak. Yes. Okay,
So we were very conservative when we put the values on this year, knowing what was ahead of us. So hopefully it won't be, I'm sure we weren't conservative enough, but
yeah,
we'll see.
we will see.
I did end up mailing out the INEs
Okay,
last week.
all right,
It took me 2 times to the post office.
all right, great.
And you wanted to see about the small commercial exemption, so I sent you that spreadsheet.
Okay, so I kind of read through this. What qualifies these people? Is this all of them in Berlin? This is it?
Yep,
And what qualifies them to be on this list?
the Department of Workforce, the Department of the Labor, they changed their name to something with more words in it than Department of Labor, sends
Yeah.
out a list of people who report to them who have 10 or less employees. I didn't print out the IGR. I have to keep looking at it every year. So anybody that we have is a mixed use property and are on that list that the state gives us qualifies to get the exemption.
And how much is that exemption?
The Board of Selectmen have voted it at 10% since inception, I think.
That's
So
correct.
that's 10, so it's 10% of the commercial value. So on your spreadsheet, you see columns 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
It's column 3 that gets the 10%.
What's column 1, Molly? The value of their business or house?
That's the residential.
Oh,
1 is
okay.
residential, 2 is open space, and 3 is commercial.
Okay.
so if someone's running a business out of their house, we'll just use the first line item.
Okay,
They're running a business out of their house. Their residential value is the first one under number 1,
yep.
and he has no open space, and he gets, so the number 3 is how much commercial space he's using in his house for his business.
Well, yeah, it's a percentage.
Well, there's a dollar value there.
Right, but the dollar value is arrived at through the percentage of,
So it's 10% of column 1?
well, to get the 3 column, you have to put in which percentage of his square footage is attributed to the commercial value.
Right.
And then from there, you take 10% of that. You multiply the commercial by the commercial rate and then get 10% of that. And that's what their exemption is.
Okay, so under total, what is that number?
That's their total billable assessment. So that's residential plus commercial.
With his discount,
No, the
okay?
discount is only tax dollars, which is that 10% exempt column.
And, okay, so his total is the sum of 1 and 3, okay? And then his exemption, So he gets a discount of $364 on his bill.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
And then we have to go and adjust the CPA too. It's a lot of work.
yeah. Right, we talked about how much work that is. And, okay, so these, we don't go to these properties and check what type of business is being conducted as long as they're listed with the Department of Labor or whoever
Well,
they are.
these are the people who give us a form of list. No, these are the people who originally report to us that they have a business in their property. So we ask every year for the clerk to give us all the new business certificates. And then we send the personal property people out to collect the data and then discover whether it's billable or not, because there's a lot of checking that you have to do on how, if they're incorporated, whether they're manufacturing, whether they're LLC,
Yeah,
all has different requirements for charging them a personal property or setting up their personal property account. So that's all done by personal property.
So basically,
I'm saying that wrong. Sorry, I'm getting my things messed up. Forget what I just said.
so basically, all this is kind of done by hand then,
Yeah,
and then entered in, kind
Yeah.
of,
yes,
with all the ups and downs and adding and subtracting and all that.
yes.
Okay,
Yes, I have a spreadsheet that I give to the collector so that he can add them to the bill to take off.
okay, but we supply the list, and
Correct.
then the collector, can I say, applies it to his tax bill, the
Yes.
person's tax bill?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't think I have any questions just yet. I looked that over. That's a little bit clearer to me on how this is done.
Okay.
I think I'll stop there. Okay.
All right. Well, look it over and then we can talk about it at the next meeting, or you can call and ask me questions.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I sent out, no, I left it on the table for you. A list of the sales for that we'll be looking at for 2021. I thought you guys should have a look at it, and if you get a chance, if you want to, just so in your head you know what's selling, because almost everything has sold over assessment.
I'm shocked. I'm
Yeah.
just shocked.
There's maybe a handful of things that sold at assessment or a little below, but just this first look, values are going to be, the residential side's going to be going up.
Right. So that's a list on the desk. Is there anything in there to sign?
Yes. There's,
Okay, so when does that have to be done?
it's nothing that important. It's minutes and and something else.
Okay,
Oh, the the vision letter of agreement for FY22 values. So it's nothing that has to go to accounting or payroll or anything. So
okay.
and I just, I thought it would be good for you guys to have this, and if you're out driving around, look at the houses that have sold, so you have a picture of what the market has done.
Does Vision offer what Patriot or RRC offers?
No, actually, Vision has a personal property module. It's not their strong suit, and
Okay.
they usually recommend RRC for personal property.
Okay,
And I've used RRC in my other Vision towns, so,
okay.
and then I don't know if you guys remembered to go to the all board meeting on the classification and compensation study.
I did not. I missed that.
And I missed that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I believe that Margaret was recording it, so it might be available to view. I'll find that out.
Okay.
And what was the end result of that?
That, well, I didn't, it's like a very long report, and I haven't
Yeah.
finished going through it. But
Okay.
I jumped to what I thought was the important things of where they rated our positions. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that I think they rated them where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
But this is based on a 40-hour work week. So when we'll need to sit down and talk about it, because I want to make sure that, because I'm not going to be here forever, and I'm sure you want someone qualified in the position. I want to make it as inviting as possible for people to apply. So I need to read this over, and evidently we can't do anything for this budget cycle because it's all almost put to bed. So we'll
so
be looking at it for the next budget cycle.
let me back up and ask a question of why we think this is budgeted off a 40-hour work week
Because that's what the report says.
for all positions?
No, the compensation chart is based off of a 40-hour work week, but it does give per hour rates. But that's the way she presented it in her workshop. So I don't know why that emphasis was made. So I just wanted to make that emphasis to you also.
I'll look into that because that is just it's not consistent with the town. I rarely see somebody, like the dump people. We have 4 or 5 dump people and they are not
Well,
on a
no.
40-hour week. The
Yes,
assessors isn't 40, huh?
right. It's correct. People
Just
would get
don't-
paid. If you look at the chart, it's page A2.
I don't have it in front of me.
I'm sorry.
but-
The chart up at the top, it says hours per week 40, hours per year 2080, percentage between steps 2.2. So
So
I'm
that's
not
just the average hours at a normal.
right. So
A normal position is, Kev. 40 hours a week, not in particular, these 24 and a half hour weeks. So she could kind of figure out what it is, or she said it shows the hourly rate.
yeah, it shows
So
the
you take
hourly.
the 24 and a half hours.
Right, I've seen the chart. It does show an hourly rate. So for those people not at 40 hours, you have a hourly rate.
Correct.
I'm just kind of
Right.
confused of what it's based off a 40-hour work week.
That's what the chart was, how the chart was gathered, I guess. I don't know exactly what it means because I didn't read the report yet. I'm
Okay.
sure that it's in the report. And,
And
we
it
can
might
talk-
just be a generalization, Kev. You know, that a general person works 40 hours a week.
and part
Yeah,
of the,
but with that being said, I know the individual, get on the list of the people on salary are not based off a 40-hour work week, or maybe they are, but I mean, they put in less or more. I mean, there's multiple peoples that don't work 40 hours. So I'll look into that. I'll get a better grip on that.
okay.
Okay,
'Cause I don't even
And-
understand how the 24 and a half hours works in 4 days. You know?
I-
So if
I
you
don't-
figure that out,
I don't know.
figure out the other two.
Okay. All right. Do we have anything else on?
Nope.
Okay. I've been in touch with someone and, I've asked them, they're thinking of maybe joining the board. And I just got to talk with them maybe 1 or 2 more times. And I'm just wondering if I tell the person what the exact next step is to,
Write a letter to us, well, write a letter, send it to the Board of Selectmen and to the Board of Assessors.
okay,
And he might want to think about taking out, or they, sorry, I don't have to assume it's a boy, that they should maybe think about taking out papers to be elected in whenever we elect people.
I think I want to get the person through a couple of meetings first before they
Right.
sign up full
and-
time. So,
And if this person liked the position, they could be appointed until the election in May, and then they would be on the electoral sheet, written in that they are running rather than as a write-in, so to say.
right, okay, so the next thing is just a letter or some
A
comment saying,
letter of interest to both boards.
Okay.
And with that letter of interest, they would then be appointed if both
Right.
boards agreed to it,
okay,
to fill out the term.
so they just wouldn't be here, they'd be appointed. is-
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Appointed, and then to fill out the term, and then they can run if they want to. And I don't know if their name automatically appears as a appointed person on the ballot. I don't know how
don't
that works. I
know.
would have to check with Eloise.
Just gotta,
Appointed doesn't even get on the ballot.
Okay,
That's just you stand in front of the selectmen and say, I agree to blah, 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 do this.
okay,
And the papers are already out to be, if the person was interested. Is it that same person, Kevin, that you were mentioning?
yeah, I just
Okay,
gotta
good.
check one more time.
Yep.
And we'll go from there, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll advise them of those items that need to be done, okay. All right, do we have anything else?
I don't,
not that I have anything.
Okay, when would the RRC people take over?
June 1st. Sorry,
First.
July 1st.
Right, are they, quote, prepared to do that if we so vote them in?
I believe so.
Yeah,
that's a good question though, Kevin, because if we're gonna vote them in, we have to make sure that they are
they're ready.
included.
The
Schedule.
I believe the proposal was for fiscal 22, so I
Oh,
will
okay.
double check that and
Yeah,
let you know.
not too good if they show up in August or September though, or.
No,
maybe-
and I will probably reach out to Brian one more time
Okay.
to make sure he knows that we're not quarterly and we have to have our rolls done by
Right,
August.
And how much is that transfer? How much is that gonna
I think
cost us?
it was 14.6 or around there.
Okay. Yeah. Just
And we-
ballpark,
it-
yeah.
And currently we pay 4,200 plus a maintenance fee to Patriot Properties. So that's like, they were off by maybe a couple $100.
Yeah. Now,
difference.
would that Patriots thing just go away? It's one or the other. Are we gonna hold on to Patriot for some other item? Or not?
No, but we'd have to find out about being able to transfer the data.
Right, but I'm sure Patriot's not gonna help us transfer their data to RRC.
They should, it's our data, but I will,
Yeah,
but
but they
there was
should tell
in
them
the-
they can put it on some type of disk or hard drive. Because she
I
is
haven't
connected to
broached
our
that
data.
subject with them because I don't know, I'm uncertain of what's gonna happen, so I don't want to,
Yeah. Burn the bridge before you cross
Right.
it, so
Exactly.
to speak. But
yes.
if they're not helpful, what, I just can't understand customer service. I mean,
Well, it was just
just-
like they didn't, maybe it was because of COVID and they didn't get everything set up fast enough to do it remotely. I don't know what it was. It was just not, I just felt like I was pulling teeth.
well,
And
COVID or no COVID, we're still running a town here.
yep,
We need answers when we need answers. I mean, I don't think it's rocket science. If they're not doing it and as long as the manager knows we're not happy, I would expect the guy to call you back and say, oh, I'm sorry, Bill Smith was out and, so-and-so couldn't do it and we should have been better at it. But if they have no comment, then
well, I
you
didn't,
say,
I was dealing with a couple of different people and
well, it's all about customer service. If you don't have
Yep.
customer service, you're not useful to
I
us.
I was more interested in getting the information than
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
to the
well,
point that I had to voice how unhappy I was. So,
yeah, but yeah, that's fine. That good way to do it. But looking back at it now, I'm just an
Right.
outside bystander looking at the situation. That's all.
Right.
Anyway,
yes,
okay. Are we good?
we're good.
We're good.
All right.
6:54.
Yeah, 654. Isn't that
Bet-
get it? 654?
Yep.
654.
All right, 10-4. All right, Bev, you want to make a motion to?
Bev made the motion and you seconded.
Join the meeting.
Yes.
And all in favor? Aye.